to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on that.
Hi and welcome to Steve Wraith's podcast. I'm joined today by a very special guest. It's actor Bruce Jones. Hi Bruce, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. And I've got to start because we do football programs on this channel on a regular basis. NUFC matters. So, are you a football fan, Bruce?
Yeah, I'm a great Man City fan.
Well, you're a Man City fan. Okay, so it's been a mixed bag for you this year. Then, are you happy with the way the season went?
Yeah, I'm glad. I was a bit disappointed in the European Cup, but good luck to Chelsea. They did well, and good luck to them. I mean, we've got next season to go for, so we're Premiership champions. Chelsea, I'm proud of Chelsea. They won the European Cup, even though I'm a big Man City fan. You can't take it away from anyone who's done well in football. I never would anyway. So I think football fans all over, it was a good match to watch. Pity for Manchester City, but good luck to Chelsea.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, as a Newcastle fan, I enjoyed watching it. I mean, you know, sometimes when you get two British teams going to a European Cup final, it can be a bit of a ball fest. But I think tactically, because of the appointment of Tuchel at Chelsea and Pep Guardiola at Man City, I just thought it was fantastic. Really good. It was a good game to watch. Great advert for the English game. And credit to Pep Guardiola. The one thing he does is he always, you know, picks his own team. He doesn't let other people dictate what he does. And, you know, he made a few changes, which, you know, some people say led to Chelsea.
I think he made the wrong changes. But after the game, we were talking generally about football, and I came up, someone asked me for next season, and I came up with two teams that you've got to watch out for next season. That's Newcastle, your team.
Wow.
And the other one is Leeds. They're both two strong teams coming up next season, them two teams. So they were my choice at the end when we got talking after the European game about next season's teams. Obviously, you can't rule out Man City, you can't rule out Chelsea, Man United and them. But the two outsiders for me next season are Newcastle and Leeds United.
I'll agree with you on the Leeds United thing. I mean, Leeds are either going to go one or two ways. They're either going to build on a fantastic season with a great manager in Bielsa, or they're going to do a Sheffield United and do what, you know, and end up like Chris Wilder did at Sheffield United, bottom of the league, out of a job and relegated. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think you're right. I think Leeds will be a dark horse. Newcastle, although I'm a big Newcastle fan and I've been since the 80s, I'm afraid if Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley are still in charge, I'll beg to differ. If Amanda Staveley gets away and the takeover goes through, Bruce, I'll 100% agree with you. And we become one of, if not the richest team in the world with Saudis backing. I think we could give Man City a run for their money, but it'll be interesting.
But that's my prediction anyway. So remember that.
I will do. Yeah. Hey, we'll come back. We might come back in 12 months' time, Bruce, and see whether you were right. I hope you. I tell you what. I hope you are, mate, because we haven't seen a domestic trophy at Newcastle since 1955, and we haven't seen a European trophy since 1969. So it would be really nice. But that's enough of the football chat. Thanks for partaking in that. Let's look at your career and what a career it's been, Bruce. I mean, you're born in Manchester, you're Manchester born and bred, and obviously your football allegiance tells us that. Did you always want to be an actor, Bruce?
I was born in Manchester, yeah, but I was taken to Wales 2 days after I was born, and to Newtown in mid-Wales, where my mum and my dad were with my grandparents. So I think I was 5 or 6 when they brought me back to Manchester because my mum didn't want me to go to school in Wales. And I remember coming back to Manchester, and it was strange for me. It was a strange place when I come back. But I went to school. I went to a school called St Oswald's in Colliers. And they put me in a play. They put me in a nativity play as a kid. I played one of the three wise kings. And at the end of the play, all I can remember, to this day, I can only remember the clapping. People clapping at the end of the play. And I said to my mum, "Did I do right, Mum?" They were clapping. She said, you did perfect. So you were good in that play. From there on in, I knew where I wanted to be. But it took a lot of years to get there. It's hard work. It's not easy to become an actor. It's hard work. My dad wouldn't let me go. My mum and my grandmother in England paid for my drama lessons at night school. My dad didn't find out. Because I had to go and do an apprenticeship. That was the only way he would appreciate anything I did, was you've got to do an apprenticeship. You've got to learn how to work something. And I did, but then I got stuck in that for a lot of years, and it was kind of, and a lot of people know my history about the Yorkshire Ripper and the body, and my mind went a lot and stuff like that with that. And it's when I got divorced from my first wife, and I got custody of my 2 children, and it was hard going, and my mum was with me all the way. But then I met my second wife, and I was working at university. I was working at a university in Manchester, UMIST, and their boiler plant and heating engineering and stuff. And then one night I just lay there in bed and I told her my dream of what I wanted as a kid. She asked me what my dream was as a kid, and I said I always wanted to be an actor. I trained, but never did it. And a week later she come back and said, there's an amateur dramatic theatre up the road, go and join it. I went, what? Amateur? I've been... And I joined, and I started to get awards. And so then it's getting an equity card. That was a must them days. You couldn't not do anything without that card. And they're gold dust. You probably know that yourself. They're gold dust. And so a mate of mine, I joined Stockport Operatic as well, and I was doing quite a few operatic shows where I met a mate of mine, Eddie Clark. And we both gone so well. We formed a comedy double act called Clark and Jones. Maybe a lot of people out there would have heard of us. I don't know. And we for 4 years running, the first year we were crap. We were putting it together, and we were. But after that, I started to write a lot, and the duo became better and better. Then you got the likes of Cannon and Ball coming to pinch our material, and we got our equity cards. Then I started doing commercials. And I did one for Ken Loach, and then I got Rainy Stones, and then the rest then I just took off, and I became what I dreamed I'd always wanted to become. And but it's not an easy life, believe you me, it's not an easy life.
No, definitely. What was it like working with Ken Loach? I mean, he's a renowned director, done some absolutely fantastic films, and still doing it today. I mean, he's knocked a couple out of the park in the Northeast in recent times, some which have had a big social message, especially about the benefit system, etc., which is, I guess, what he's always done. But what was it like for you personally working with him?
It was absolutely brilliant working with Ken. He taught me such a lot in the 7 or 8 weeks I was working with him. And he taught me a lot about acting and responsibilities of acting. And never disrespect what you do. You can't just be, because you're a TV actor or a film actor, you're no better than anyone else. And that's the way I look at my life. I am no better than anyone else. It's a job I do. I'm lucky to do the job. Yes, I am. I'm very lucky. I've now signed for 28 films, and I'm busy with them. I've got 4 more in the pipeline. 2 are ready to go. I've got the script for 1. So I'm lucky, and that's how I look at my life. I'm lucky. It's not that you have not got a God-given right to be an actor. You have to work at it. And forget the star and the fame bit. I hate them 2 words. I don't like the word star, and I don't like the word fame. I once wrote in my notebook, I found fame, but fame didn't like me. And I've never forgot what I wrote, them words. And so any incoming actor out there, do not forget your roots. Do not forget to say thank you. Say thank you to the crew, the people who are in front of you, and the most important people in the world, them cameramen, the sound guys, everyone on that floor. It's not about you, it's about them. They're making you what you are. And if you forget that, forget this job. I just cannot not walk off a studio floor and say thank you to everyone, because they make me what I am on that screen or TV. And I've always lived by that rule. And if you live by that rule and you say thank you, they'll appreciate you more than you'll appreciate them. And it's a great thing to give a crew that thanks. And Ken Loach taught me all that, and I've never forgot it. So whenever I finish a day's filming, I hold my hands up to the crew and say thank you. Thanks for today. I've got through today through you. And that is the most important thing in my life. And when you go out anywhere, you're no better than someone you sat next to. You're still that human being you was born. you're not a star and you're not famous. You're just you. And that's how I live. And if that's wrong and people don't like that, then I'm sorry. But it's my view on life. And I'm just lucky to be the actor I am.
Great advice. I would always say the same about being a supporting artist because, I mean, a bit like yourself, I had a taste of it when I was younger. I played King Canute when I was 7 and I really got into it. I went to a Saturday morning drama school and was lucky enough to tour America and Russia when I was a kid, when I was 13 and 16 respectively. But then I got out of it. I fell out of love with it. I ended up doing a tour in pantomime. I didn't like it. I didn't like hard work at that age. And I just walked away from acting at 18 and went into the family business. But I went back to it at 30 and then essentially, I went back and studied. And I did 6 years as a supporting artist. And I think, from my perspective, I think you say thanks to the crew, etc. I tend to spend a lot of time when I'm doing TV or film, Bruce. I tend to spend a lot of time now with the supporting artists, and I've been on sets, and I won't name the actors, but I've been on the sets where a lot of actors won't entertain the supporting artists, and I think it's important because they're part of the team as well.
When I was doing Coronation Street, I remember I did that over 10 years. When I went on that set 7, I had to be in it for 7 every morning. I'd get there about 6:20. I always went to the extras dressing room. Not as you okay, everything fine. You get your cup of tea, you had your breakfast, everything, If anyone's new, will you please show them where to go for breakfast and everything? And I always went in every morning and said good morning to them. Because they're as important as everyone else, as you well know. Supporting acts are more important than the actors themselves sometimes. And you've been there, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a tough job. It's an enjoyable job. I mean, and I always say to people, get the experience. If you want to get involved in TV or film, you need to go out and be prepared. At some stage, to go and do something for nothing, go and volunteer to be a runner, and help and just get around a set. You need to get rid of that image that it's all glory and fame, because it's not. It's sometimes, you say there you had to be in at 7 a.m. It's long hours, it's long days, and there's a lot of repetition, Bruce.
Very long. Yeah, they're very long days, very, very long days for them and for us, and the crew as well, and for everyone involved in a film or a TV program. The days can be so long. Hello?
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. You're right. They can be so long, and it's people would be amazed as well when you're doing a particular scene. People might look at a scene which is 2 or 3 minutes long. It can take anything up to 4 or 5 hours to get that right.
It can take you all morning to get one scene right. It can take all morning just to do one scene, and as you know, if it doesn't go right, you've still got to stay there till it is right. You can't just say, that's it, I'm going home. You can't just say, right, I've had enough, I'm going home. You can't do that. You've got to stay there till they're happy with it, you're happy with it, and everyone else is happy with it. And it makes it a long, long day. I mean, my son went into acting. I think he lasted a week. He said, Dad, it's the most boring job in the world. And he was on Heartbeat, one episode of Heartbeat, and he'd had enough. He said, I can't do that job. I can't sit around all day like that, just waiting to start and go and stop and go again and wait hours and hours and hours. And I tried to explain to him that is how this job works. It's not the glamorous thing you think, because you see that end product on the TV, they think that's it. They don't realise how many hours you put into that. I mean, one of the most famous scenes in Coronation Street was the bath scene coming through the ceiling. Everybody remembers that scene. That took Wendy Peters and myself went in at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. We got sent home at 11 because the hydraulics on the bath wouldn't work. We went in Tuesday, 7 o'clock. We got sent home again because it still wasn't right. We went in the Wednesday and it was all working. We shot it. I took 3 days to film. 3 days. And people think you've done it in 2 minutes when you watch it on TV. They don't realise what's behind. Excuse me. They don't realise what's behind doing one scene. It's hard work.
Yeah, it is. How did you find learning lines, Bruce? I mean, and is there a particular method you've used over the years to get those lines into your head?
Learning lines. How do I learn lines? A lot of people say that. How do you learn lines? There's no secret to learning lines. It's just a matter of reading. But my secret way of doing it is I don't learn mine till I know what's above mine and what the answer to mine is. And once I know them two, the rest is easy. Because once I hear them lines said to me, I know I'm coming in and I know my lines. But I learn the above and below mine first. And once they're in my head, like I said, mine come easily and following them. I'm finishing on that and I'm starting on that and I'm finishing on that. And then that line comes in, I'm out of there. So my next line comes up. And then as long as you learn above and below, you can learn your lines. And you've got to read them all night and go to bed with them and learn them through the day when you've got hours to spare before your next scene or whatever. Learn next day's lines. You know the day. You know what you're doing that day. So learn tomorrow's lines while you've got that time. Just keep learning them, reading. And before you go, sit together with who the scene involves, and all of you go through the line, do a line run. And that way you know where you are. And that's what I do in mine. Other people will be totally different, but that's how I do mine. Yeah.
There's no easy route to it. I mean, have you had a situation where you've perhaps gone in, you've gone to bed early because you're on an early start, and then you wake up to find an email's dropped in your inbox to say that the script's been changed? Have you had a situation like that where you've had to go in on set? I mean, I can imagine on a soap as big as Coronation Street, that would happen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we went in. It's happened a few times on there. It's happened a few times on a few things you do because people get ill, and they can't make it to work because they're ill, and especially in the winter, it falls apart a lot in the winter. So you might go in at 7 o'clock in the morning and be told, learn that. You've got an hour to learn that. It might be like today's lines. Forget them. We're not doing them today. We're doing it. So you all get together and just read through it. But you will get give and take on a set when that happens to you. So if you do forget on a day like that, when you've been given them and you got an hour, there's no comeback on the set. Hang on, can I look at the scripts again? And they'll let you look at it. And they don't actually. That's a day when you're not prepared for it. They're not prepared for it. No one's prepared for it. You've just gone in. Something's gone terribly wrong. So can we do this today? Can you learn that? So basically, we learn it. We do get the hour on it and we learn it. And 9 times out of 10, it works. It's quick line. It's quick line learning. You just keep repeating it with everyone, repeating it. Then when it's time to go, 9 times out of 10, we've all got it. We can all do it. And the only thing you've not got in your head is how you're going to act to them lines. You've got it in your head over the night, how you're going to do it. But now it's a different scenario, how your mind is going to go with them lines. And you learn pretty quickly how you're going to do that. And the scene will start and you get it. Hang on, can we start again? I know what I'm going to do. I know what you're asking, where you're going. So I'm going to... And then we all get it and we do it. And the day's covered. And they've got what they want. And a few days later, you go and do the scenes you were meant to do that day. But then you know it anyway. So it's... It can throw you. It can... I mean, people say to me, acting's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy life. It's hard work, and as you well know, you've been there yourself, so you know how hard it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the learning lines is hard, but you have to be thankful when you're learning lines because it means you're working. I think the biggest challenge any actor has, and it doesn't matter, whether it's somebody like yourself who's had a fantastic career, or whether it's somebody like me who I still think, even though I've been back in the game, 7 or 8 years now, I still feel as if I'm learning all the time, and I'm still right at the infancy of my acting career. But it's the waiting around. It's as it used to be called back in the day, resting, where literally, you were waiting for the next job. And I think nowadays you've got to be more proactive, Bruce. You have to promote yourself. you don't just rely on your agent to get you the work anymore. And social media has probably helped massively with that, I suppose.
I think you just hit it all on the head when you said it's hard work. You just said it yourself. And social media to me is it's a great thing, but I'm not a great social media person. I do Twitter, but I have someone do that for me. And as I said, I can't even get my laptop going some days. I'm not that far back on this stuff. But when I got to work, I love it. I love my work. I get on a set and I know what I'm doing, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to cope with all the changes, whatever they throw at you. I deal with it, and you can talk to the writers, you can talk to the directors, you can talk to other actors. How do you see this going today? What's our motivation for today? What is this script saying to us? And then between us, we get it. We all get where it wants to go, and then we get it. We do it, and we get it, and then I mean, you have to love this job. You have to really love it, and you know what I mean by that. You definitely know what I mean by that. You just can't say I'm going to be an actor one day and finish the next. It's either in your blood, and you're going to do it, and go with it. And I'm grateful for being an actor. I really am grateful for what I have. And I don't mind all that waiting about, and I don't mind all that learning. I walk away from people who start moaning. I go away. I don't want that negativity. I just want to do my job, and the job that I love more than anything in the world. I love my job as an actor. And I think it's not, as I said earlier, it's not the stardom, it's not the fame. It's something I love to do. And I'm proud to do it. Really am. I really am proud.
Obviously, Coronation Street was a life-changing experience for you. And I mean, from your perspective, I doubt when you walked onto those cobbles for the first time, you thought you would be in it for so long. I mean, 10 years is a fantastic spell in any job, but it was a hell of a character. What was it like stepping onto those cobbles for the first time, Bruce?
I'll let you into a secret. I'd just done the full Monty, and I was finishing a film off with Bob Hoskins 24/7 when I got the call to go to Granada on a Friday. I'd finished filming, I was going back home. I'd not been home for 4 to 5 weeks, not seen my wife or my kids or anything. And I got to Granada, and cut a long story short, they told me about this family. Didn't tell me who it was or what it was for, or what show it was even. I thought I was there for a show I'd been invited to go for before the filming started, and called The Chain Gang. And they told me about this family, and I said, that family's going to get killed. You can't put a family like that on TV. They're going to get hammered. What show is it anyway? And then he told me Coronation Street, and I went, sorry, no, I'm out of it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. No. The answer is no, I'm not doing it. I'm on Coronation Street, like my grandmother, my mother, my family watched from day one. I can't play that family. And then they eventually convinced me to do 6 weeks. Just start the family. And I thought, I'll do. It was 11 o'clock at night now, and I wanted to go home. And I said, okay, so I signed. But when I got the phone call from my agent next morning, you just signed that 6-week contract, didn't you? I went, yeah, you told me to. It's a 12-week one. It's a rolling contract. You're in 12 weeks and 6. I said, I mean, I can't go. No. I went, oh my God, this family. And we did for the first year. I remember going into the studios, and I thought, God, I'm walking into history here. I'm walking into time history here, and everything. The characters there who I'd watched on. And I remember saying to Vicky Entwistle, who a lovely, lovely girl, Vicky Entwistle, and God, how do we do this? And she said, well, you've done all these films, don't you? I said, I'm scared to death. And I was scared to death. And And we did it, and we got the first day over with. But I think we were the four of us were very nervous for about a few weeks, before we settled into it. And then we settled that Les was going, we were getting hammered in the streets, we were getting told off, we got spit at. I got threatened with a queue in a pub one night because I was upsetting this guy's grandmother on Coronation Street. I was horrible. And I thought, and I actually went home and I told my wife, and I said, I've just nearly been attacked for being in that character in Coronation Street. She said, you're doing him too well. You do everything too well. You're making him absolutely horrible. And I went, I know, I've got to get out. How do I get him? She said, you can't change him now. You just got to go with it. Let them change it. See how you're going, So yeah, that was my introduction to the Coronation Street.
I mean, you've done some stuff anyway. I mean, you came off the back of the full Monty, as you've already said. But what was it like to meet some of those names that everyone associates with the street? I mean, William Roach, who plays Ken Barlow, I suppose, who's been there since the very beginning. Were you in awe meeting somebody like that at the start, Bruce?
I think you're in awe of meeting anyone who you've seen on TV before or films and whatever. But Bill Roach was one of the nicest characters I've met in my life. They all were. Everyone on that set looks after everyone. No one is. If you've got a problem, you tell them, they help you solve it. Johnny Briggs was another great character. I used to watch him in No Hiding Place many years ago as a kid. And it's like, oh my God, I'm working with Johnny Briggs. I'm working with Bill Roach. I'm working with all these people, Liz Dawn. What a wonderful, wonderful woman, Liz Dawn and Bill. It wasn't in harm. It was sit and learn. And you sit in a green room, watch how they were and how quiet they were. They sit in the dressing rooms and you go to your dressing room. And it was a great feeling. And Bob Hoskins was another one. He taught me quite a lot. And, I did Roughnecks for 2 years for the BBC. I'd done all these TV shows and Frost and everything and films. And I'm meeting all these characters I've watched all my life. And I'm now working with them. That's what I mean about forget the start and the fame bit. Just enjoy it. Enjoy that ride you're on a ride. And don't let anything deter you from it. Star, famous. No, forget all that. If you want to be in there for the stardom and the fame, forget it. Forget it. That's in my mind, forget it. I know I am. I can walk down the street in my local town here in Wales. I can go for a pint with my mates and watch the football. They know I am not that guy they're watching on TV. They know me. And they treat me like that. But basically they protect me. No, it's not him. No, you can't have a photograph. He's watching the TV. He's watching the football. Ask him at the end of the game. And but I always do a photograph with everyone. I never say no. Some people say you should charge. I won't charge for what? A photograph? Then people pay your wages. You can't charge them for a photograph, and you can't charge them for an autograph, which I know a lot of people do. And I say that's wrong. They're paying your wages. And that's the way I am anyway. Whatever other actors say, I just go my life.
It's a great way. It's a great way to be. I mean, was it a wrench for you to leave the street after a decade? I mean, how did you feel about having to depart?
Well, everyone thought I was sacked. I was not ever sacked from Coronation Street. Never. We came to Vicky had left. The girls had left. Wendy Pierce has left. I'm there on my own. Where am I going to go? So I went in the office and we had a big discussion, the press officers, the bosses. And one of them said, Bruce, you really want to move on, don't you? You're a bit fed up now. I said, well, there's no one here. There's only me left. So would it be all right if I went and did something else? And they said, yes. So then we all shook hands and I left. They still paid me for 12 months after. They weren't just going to let me go. They still paid my wages for another 12 months. And no, I would never, ever say a bad word against Coronation Street. They gave me 10 years of great life. And I'm proud of what I did with them. I'm proud of what they gave me. And I'm proud of Coronation Street. Whatever's coming up in my life, which I can't go into, I I will do one day with you when I see what the outcome of this is. And then someone says, this could reflect. I said, no, it won't reflect on Coronation Street because nothing's going to be said about Coronation Street. It's nothing to do with them. And it's nothing to do with me or them. They gave me 10 years of great, great life. And I will never, ever bring that show into disrepute. I never will. I love that place and I love the people involved with it, and it's a great place to work.
When I studied my degree, they always used to say, "What is your aim in life? What do you want to be?" And in acting, and my acting role dream would be to be the villain in Coronation Street, or a villain in Coronation Street. So that was my aim. That was what I aspired to do, and that is my goal as an actor. I'd love to do it. From your perspective, did you have a goal when you started out as an actor, when you knew this was the job you wanted to do? Is there a particular role you'd like to do, Bruce?
That's a good question, because no, I didn't have a particular role. I sort of got the roles that I did, like the down and out, the unemployed. I tend to get all the down roles. I've never done a hero role. I've never done a hero role where I've been, like a James Bond type person. I've always been the downtrodden, if you like. And somehow or other, I do it well, and I seem to get quite a lot of them roles, and I enjoy them, because to me, I'm portraying real people. I'm trying to portray real people and the way they feel when they're down there. Right, I'll go and talk to them, and then I'll get the role the way I want it to work. So I will go on the streets. I will talk to people. I mean, I think the last movie I did, I played a gay character, and I'm not gay. I have nothing against gay people. I think the world of people. So what I did, I went to the gay village in Manchester, and a mate of mine who used to be my dresser on Coronation Street has a nightclub and hotel there. So I went to see him, and I showed him the script. I said, I got to play this guy, and I don't know how to do it. I'm asking for your help. He said, Bruce, I love you. You're one of the best actors in the world, mate, and we all love you. So let me tell you what this script means. And he took me through it, and I went, you're right. Do I play it that way, or do I go over the top? He went, no, you're a gay TV presenter for a paranormal show. So no, keep it so laid back that people don't know till this bit in the script here. That's when we know you're gay. That's when it comes out. And thank you very much to him. The film is now up for an international award. And he put me through, he told me what to do, and I listened. Listen to these people. They are real people who can get you through what you want to do. Don't just think I can do it this way, I can do it that way. You can't. Go and find out. Go and ask the real people. You're playing a real person. And so go and find out. Go and find out what it's like to be gay, if you're not gay. Go and find out. Get it down so you know what you're doing. You're not showing them people up. You're not disrespecting them people. And I didn't. And I remember he came to watch the film, and he went, Bruce, you got it absolutely perfect. Till that time you touched his face. That's when we knew. We didn't know till that time that you were gay. And till that moment. And I told you then, I went, you were absolutely right. He was absolutely spot on. And now it's up for an international award. So thank you very much. So go and talk to people. Don't just think you can play them. Talk to them.
Superb, great advice. I mean, actors who are watching this at home now, will probably would have a multitude of questions for you. But being an actor myself, I'm hoping I'm putting at least some of the ones across. This one I would say is vitally important. How would you advise somebody to go to an audition? And I've got to be honest, auditions are changing, castings are changing now, especially with the pandemic. A lot of this has been done online, but that was coming in before lockdown and the pandemic. But what's your best advice to any actor who is thinking about, is being lucky enough to be asked to go for a role?
Best advice? Oh my God. Just be yourself. Get the script. You'll get a script when you get there anyway. You'll get 20 minutes to go through that script. But read between the lines of that script. Just between the lines, read what they're giving you a piece of paper with words on it. Now, between them words, them lines, get them in your head, then read between them lines about what it really means. Then go in and deliver it. And if you get it that way, I never failed at an audition because I read between the lines. They want more than this. They want more than what's on this paper. So when you go in there, give them more. And then that's how I got it. I just read between the lines. That piece of paper is just a few lines on it that you have to deliver in that room. But it's not. Read between the lines what it really is. Get it in your head what's between them lines. Go in and deliver it. Don't just deliver the lines, deliver more. I always didn't stop till they told me to. I never stopped talking till they told me to. No, just carry on. People just go in, read them lines, and that's it. Stop. Right. Oh, thank you very much. I never stop. I get more than them lines on that page in my head, and I just carry on and carry on and carry on till they say, well, thank you. Then you get the job. They know you can do it. Read between the lines. Carry on. Don't stop. Never stop at the read. Carry on. Make it up as you go along, but carry on that theme of what they've give you. But carry on till they say stop. That's it. Thank you very much. Next day, you've got a phone call. You've got a job. Just don't stop. Don't read that piece of paper as though it's there. Once you've read that piece of paper, that's all you got to do. I never stopped talking. I took that piece of paper from 1 page to 2. So they said, right, thank you. And then next day you get a phone call, you've got a job. Show them what you can do. Don't let them show you what they want you to do. You show them what you can do. And that's the way I got through years and years and years ago. I never stopped talking. Just carried on and on and on.
Good advice, mate. Good advice. We've touched on it a little bit earlier, but you were in The Full Monty, which was a fantastic film. And it's one of those films which I would say was great when it came out. It just gets better with age. And of course, the soundtrack as well is something which people up and down the country really enjoy listening to at various bars and nightclubs up and down the country. But it's what was it like to be in that? You played the part, I think, of Reg, if I remember rightly, and you were somebody who you went along, didn't you, and auditioned to be a stripper.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I was working on a film with Bob Hoskins, as I said earlier, 24/7. When I got a week's break. I think I got more than a week's break. And then they got the phone call from The Full Monty where I go over from Nottingham to Sheffield and played his cameo role in this film for them. So the film company would give me permission, which I was really, really appreciative of. And I went over to Sheffield. I met Robbie Carlyle. He's become a great friend. And I had the morality part in that film. No, you shouldn't be doing this. You should get proper jobs and all that. I was like the morality part in there. But I remember when I got the script, it says I strip off. So when we started, I started to take all my clothes off. And the director said, what are you doing? I said, it says here, and you see, this is again, check your scripts out. And he said, no, we've changed the scripts. Put your pants back on. Oh my God. And I only took my top off. And then it was, I gave the lines out about the morality of what they were doing, and you should be getting proper jobs and all that. But I must admit, I had won European Actor of the Year for Raining Stones. I got the Actors Guild of America for my cameo in that film, which I was so grateful for. And and yeah, it's been great. I've had a great time. I've enjoyed my life, and I'm still enjoying it. So
it's good to hear, Bruce. It's good to hear. You also did an appearance on Big. You also did an appearance on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. What was that like?
Do you want the truth?
Yeah, I mean, I actually auditioned for series 3, and I got down to the last 24, and I didn't get in the house. And I always described that as the biggest close escape that I ever had.
Man, it's the most boring thing in the world, and that's all I'm saying about that. I couldn't, you know, I actually tried to get out of there, and I ended up in the last 4. I thought, I'm not getting out of there. I'm not getting out, and I actually got voted out as number 4, and I went, God. And then you got to do all the interviews after and everything after that, and you think to yourself, I just want to go to the hotel. I want to get a pizza and a pint.
You can take the lad out of Manchester. You can't take Manchester out of the lad getting a pizza and a pint. What are you working on now, Bruce? What are you working on now?
I've got the script for my next horror movie. I've done 4 horror movies now, and I'm doing number 6 in this series. We've got 28 of them to do. Then I'm doing a film in Wales called The Lighthouse King. Then, if the pandemic lifts and we can go everywhere we should be going, I'm working with a great man called Simon Golding, who's a wonderful, wonderful man and writer, and he's written a film. And I'll be working on that with Patrick Bergman. And that starts in Mauritius. So that's what I'm waiting to do now. So
great stuff. Plenty to get your teeth into.
Yeah, and I'm also a great believer, and you might appreciate this, I'm also a great believer in giving young actors a chance. I go out my way to get young actors into what I'm doing. I've just got my mate's daughter, she's 15. She's just passed all the drama exams at school, so I got her in the last film. And now she's on her way, and she's good. But she did do a lot of drama at school, and she does know everything. She'll be going back to drama school when soon enough, I think the next couple of weeks, she'll be back in drama school. But she's got her first film under her belt. And so any young kid out there, don't give up that dream. Do not give up that dream. The world needs actors. We're dying out. We're not going to be here forever, so we need young actors to take our places. So if ever you get the chance, I'm a great believer in giving that chance. It doesn't mean I want thousands of phone calls saying I want to be in this, I want to be that. That doesn't work like that. I have to know you're dedicated enough to want it and to do it. And if I think so, then I'll get you the chance. And especially in Wales, where I live, I love Wales. I might be Mancunian, but I'm Welsh at heart. And you can see it. I go to the little theatres here. I go around the little. They don't know I'm in there, and I'm in there, and I see a young actor. I'll get his name, and then I'll push it to a producer. Give this kid a chance, and out of the blue, they'll get a phone call. The kid walks on stage. He doesn't know I've done it. He's just got this chance that he's been seen on stage. They turn out to be great little actors, and yeah, I'm proud of that. I don't disrespect anyone who wants to become an actor. It's hard enough to get in here as it is, as you know, how hard it is to become an actor.
Last question. If the opportunity came up for a return to the cobbles as Les Battersby, I mean, the Battersbys are still represented on the street. Is that something that you would grasp with both hands, Bruce, or is it a case of never go back?
You know what? I had this conversation yesterday with a very good friend of mine who he works for the Samaritans, and I do a lot of charity work for Mind and mentally ill. And he asked me that question yesterday, and he said to me, he's a counsellor for mental health and everything. You've got to go back. And I said, why? Why would I want to go back? I've always said never say never. But why would I want to go back? Because it's not finished. You have not finished with Les Battersby yet. And he has not finished with you. You've just admitted to me in one of the films you couldn't get the character because you thought it was too much like Les. But eventually you got him. You and Les Battersby are not finished. Now, this is a counsellor for Mind telling me that me and Les Battersby have not finished. So maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. I don't know. But never
well,
say
I would love to see Les Battersby come back. I've been a fan of the show, as I say, for many, many years. You know, my mum got me into it when I was a kid, and it's part of my regular weekly routine, and it's my bit of escapism on TV. So it would be great to see you back in it. And look, you're a great actor, Bruce. I'm proud to call you my friend now, and just want to thank you personally for contributing. And I didn't want to touch on that today because you talked about it on the documentary, and I want people to watch the documentary. You touched on it earlier about, you know, your experiences in your early life and stuff I didn't want to talk about today, but you contributed to my documentary, and I'm going to play the trailer. I'm going to play the trailer to play out so people can see what it's all about. Richard John Taylor's done a fantastic job of this, and Bruce Jones, I just want to thank you for your time today, and best of luck in your future endeavours, mate. Take care.
No, thank you, and thank you for letting me be part of your show. Thank you very, very much. All the best.
Cheers, Bruce.
Hostilities will end officially at 1 minute after midnight tonight, Tuesday, the 8th of May.
In post-war London, two promising boxers thrived as they rose from the ashes to become the most feared brothers in British criminal history. But in 1969, they were both sentenced to life in prison. This is the story of a young man's friendship with them in their final years. His friendship with Ronnie and Reggie Cray.
They were associating with celebrities, you know, beautiful woman on Reg's arm. They drove fast cars. They were involved in bars and nightclubs. It epitomised everything that an influential 15-year-old mind on Tyneside would really want in life.
They fascinate a lot of people.
Wow, I've had a letter from Reg Cray. You know, it was like a prized possession. He did say, I'd like you to go and see Ron.
Well, I think that instills a bit of fear into somebody when you know anybody's capable of doing something extreme.
He turns to me and says, I need you to get rid of Kate.
I knew I was sitting in front of someone who was a serious character.
They weren't bothered who they'd hurt, and they were just prepared to go the full hog.
You get killed. There's no easy way out of that one. You get killed.
Of course, they were feared, but there's two sides to every story.
They were from an era where they could be absolutely ruthless.
The thing about the bad guy is he never knows he's the villain of the piece. He thinks he's doing right, no matter what he does.
But had they been out and people been able to see him, no one would have respected that.
I'm close to getting out there. 4.5 decades. It's going to take me 6 weeks to visit all the fucking graves.